For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you a bit of a video review on Opus Camper. Throughout this we're basically talk through the different sort of setups you can have with your kind of chosen Opus Camper, and pretty much you can create kind of the folding kind of camper or trailer tent, or whatever you want to kind of call it, or whatever you want. It's a little bit different to kind of a more conventional trailer tent. It's more like a folding camper where you've got a lot of things that have been built into it. One thing I will say generally about Opus is actually in terms of the quality you get, it sort of sits in its own little league. I wouldn't say it's in the same kind of ballpark as your kind of your Cabanons or your your Raclays, your Pennines, that sort of style, or even it sort of sits a different kind of sort of thing. Games same like Camplay. The main bodies are built differently. If you look actually the actual chassis of the body itself and the bodywork, it's actually made from like a industrial cladding, so it's really strong, really nice and robust, really great for sort of insulated as well, which is ideal. And again, the joys of it with Opus in particular, because it's all manufactured pretty much in the UK, they import the bodies in and then they can alter it and build it within inside, is that you can create the camper that suits you, so wherever you want. And that's, again, there's a whole list of optional extras which will kind of throughout this video go through and show you different versions of it as well. But yes, we'll kind of go through that briefly. So to start with, what you find is they do a basic model which comes with basically just the body work and then the tent with the bedding. So most people don't tend to go to that. They more often go for one of the packs they do. So they do like a they do a kind of full Monty, which is what we have here, and it comes with pretty much sort of everything. So your essential pack is a starting point, and then you move up to the Voyager. Voyager, I would say, is probably more orientated at maybe couples, just because you get a standard kind of a bit of a bigger bed. Where the full Monty is your more family-based stuff. I mean, you can happily use it as a couple, so have plenty of space, but with a full Monty, you actually get the sort of full awning you see here as well, and then loads of extra bits. So when you look at, say, for example, the base package with the essential package, like I said, really you spend a little bit extra more and you get a whole lot of extra features with it, and you can see those sort of packages on our website via the link below. Now, what we're looking at here, the thing that makes Opus a little bit different again is you've got a folding camper, but you've got an inflatable frame. The camper itself has an inbuilt compressor pump where you literally press a button, runs off a leisure battery that's inside, and it can basically pump up fully. So there's actually no physical effort of feeding poles through. Same with the awning, or even the sun canopy as an option. You can literally attach this on and it'll pump it from the main compressor. So the main point is, from a pitching point of view, it's really simple and very quick to do. And we've done separate little review and pitching videos on that you can have a look at as well. The main body is essentially can be used, so you're going away for a weekend, you can literally open it up, put the sort of the stays in, level it, inflate it up, and then you've got your base for the weekend. You have the options of, again, adding sun canopies or front awnings. The front full awning comes as you see here. You get a bedroom as well. There's all little side pods, so you can once again have this as a kind of a big sun canopy if you really wanted to. But again, runs with a really nice kind of 300D fabric, really strong material. But the thing which we'll say in a bit when we go inside of it, the interior height of the Opus is something else. You know, going in there, me being quite tall, about 6'2", everything in there just feels so spacious. So even when you're inside of it, you don't feel claustrophobic, and there's lots of mesh throughout it as well, which works really quite nicely. Now, you do have the ability with the awnings and things to have a manual pump if you want to use it, but again, because you've got the pressure, you're good to go. Again, the things, well, they can spec the actual the sort of maximum laden weight, depending on how much you want it to be. So the joys is, depending on your vehicle, because it's obviously all built, we can make sure that the capacity load it will take can be as high or low as you want it to. The only thing you've got to bear in mind is if you're ever to resell it on, how much you want to do. But again, you can go up to sort of nearly 1,500, 1,600 kilograms for a normal body. They also, worth mentioning, they do a few other different models really as well. So you've got, this is what we're going to call the all-road. They do a off-road, which we've got to the side over here, maybe you can't quite just see. And then they got an ORX, which is their kind of like, then almost their updated version of the off-road. And we've done a separate little video on that, just to kind of give you a bit more of an understanding of that as well. What I'll do actually, let's kind of bring you inside to start with, and we can go through some of these features and talk through a bit of the setup. So as we kind of come in, first thing you're probably going to see is kind of the overall kind of size. So we'll start here, and I'll basically bring the camera in and move as we go. So we've got bedding section in here as well. Like I said, headroom height really quite nice and neatly. I said really strong main body, natural door, and then basically you've got the options of skirts and everything goes around. You've got, mostly with kind of like full Monty package, you tend to find that you've got your fridge, you do have like a microwave, you've got your sink in there, your gas hobs in there as well. You've got obviously electrics, there's a little heater as well, again just kind of works really quite smartly. Yeah, like I said, they build the packages around you. So what we have normally is, and you can download it from our website, is almost like a little tick list. So because we can build it in, we can basically work out a price to kind of bespoke use. And we do have it all the time where someone says, I like the full Monty, but I want to add this. I want to add an external socket or a gas point, or I want to take this off and trade it for this. So we can kind of work with you to kind of get your best option on that front. Like I said, really strong inflatable structure. Plenty of headroom height. Like for me, that is just quite boastful. I mean, I can stand up with my hands fully up from that point of view. But it's really nice, even just the details of, you got like a nice bamboo wood on there. Again, the little stove all packs down. The sink drops down into there. This all packs down and actually sits in the footwell when you are sort of traveling as well. And again, you can actually get like an upgrade on the upholstery just to make it a bit nicer. You've got sort of 2 double beds on either side, but you do have the option of making that into a king. Basically, you sacrifice a little bit of the seating area, which will kind of fold down, and then you have a mattress topper that can go on. Again, you can buy additional mattress toppers. Options, again, we've got things like the cinema screen, which can go there. You can also, which can go, it's lazy, which basically sits down into that point located there as well. Again, you've got the darker bedrooms as well, so if you want those sort of midnight bedrooms, that works better. But again, you can pretty much pick and choose. You've got a toilet, again, comes into it, basically lives in there during transit points of use. Electrical switch, and you also got a battery indicator on there as well. So again, it will show you kind of how it is. Loads of storage, so basically underneath the sole seating area, essentially, we've got a whole load of storage there as well. But again, skylights. We've got ventilation points located at the back as well. So again, the joys of that is that having airflow, if it's a warm day, you can more than happily kind of sort of sit directly inside of that. And you also got, you can add little touches to make it kind of really homely with little storage brackets underneath. Low level storage as well. And throughout actually the main body, you've got little things like USB points, plug points, and again, you can sort of pick and choose and add little bits to it. There's also a really nice sort of lighting system that basically sort of stays in the camper itself, and you have the ability to kind of adjust it. So you can actually go brighter or lower depending on the thing. So again, it's just little touches like that, just to add a little real nice bit of class to it. And that's why I say it's not really probably the same as a conceptual kind of trailer tent in that way. Other things to point out is, again, you can add extra mats in for the front section. The table itself drops down, so if you want to make that whole kind of seating area into a bed, you can quite happily do that as well. And you've also got, again, little plug points for lighting, for additional lighting on pretty much all the main kind of corners. The fridge itself is 12 volt as well as gas, so if you're off grid, you can look at that as well. And there are things that you can upgrade into you can go for lithium batteries rather than a lead acid battery if you really wanted to. And yeah, that's what it's like. It can really kind of bespoke for you. You've got a 2-burner point there with its own kind of piezo ignition as well. An area for sort of chopping. Again, you can use the top of the fridge for sort of a prep area if you really wanted to as well. But I'll tell you what, let's bring the camera inside actually and just go through a few of the different little models. So as we kind of come in, you can see, so this is the actual awning itself. So you've got, we've put the bedroom, the part on bedroom on the left-hand side over here. But as you naturally kind of come in, you can kind of create this kind of whole kind of sort of living area into it. So again, depends on what you want to do. There is a panel that actually sits between this area, which we've zipped off to kind of give you that sort of complete flow through. Again, steps are optional extra, but there's some packages on those. You can see you've got the darker bedrooms located there as well. So then we'll come to the normal bedrooms in just a moment. There is a rear point there for ventilation as well. And then this is the cinema stream, which actually sits down fully within the section. So again, you can put that up. Try and do it one-handed, he says. There you go. So then you can basically put a projector on the table, kind of located here, and then kind of go back. And then for your hob units, again, nice little hob units. You've got a lid that goes nice and down. This hole basically disassembles and goes into kind of the footwell down the bottom here. You've also again got your sink really neatly in there. We've got a low-level heater as well. So we've got a heater down the bottom here as well. So again, little dials. The main kind of panel is located basically here as well. So this is where you put the effective pump. This is where you've got your sort of lighting switches, so you can turn it on. And you've also got your water pump. So the water pump is done there, and you've also got a battery indication level as well, so you can see that all quite nice and neatly. You've this model in particular has got its own kind of hot water system. So the hot water system, we've got a dial section down there, so we can actually control the internal temperature of the water as well, and turn it on and off. So the heater at the bottom there is an isolation switch. And it's got its own kind of fuse boards and switches that are actually under the actual seating area itself. Again, really nice cozy area. Again, happily for a family of 4 to quite happily dine in there as well. You've got the rear bed. Like I said, these sort of cushions here will fold flat, and you can buy an extended bed to make this into a king size bed. So it's kind of an upgrade in standard. We've got obviously door panels and the window panels here, which have PVC and also mesh as well, so you have airflow through and throughout it. The light systems obviously stay in the top there, and say you've got that dimmable, they can all be controlled from one point, and that's actually the same for the lighting that you get in the front awning area. Exactly the same principle of that, so you can actually sort of dim that up and down as you kind of go as well. What we'll do, we'll rotate ourselves around. So as you can see from the outside, you've got the rear sort of ventilation point there. It sort of zips onto that point up there, gives you a good sort of height, but it almost looks kind of like almost like a trailer tent-esque. You also have the option of this like a little ensuite tent, which you can, we've got kind of a little bundle deal on that at the moment. Comes with your own shower points, light, anything like that. So again, really quite smart. It's something you can actually buy additionally on its own. Now, when you've got the actual point with no warning, you're looking at something along the lines of that. So again, that's with actually any canopies or anything on that front. And if you want to see, again, same sort of setup, really nice and cozy, same kind of principle, but then you can see there with the mesh on the outside, and we've got the window lights at the top. Exactly the same principle. This is more like the basic model, and then you can get a little hose rail up there. About 400 kilograms in terms of weight bearing on the side, and you can actually, if you really want to, buy skirts. Naturally, what you find is the water and waste when you're traveling will sort of sit underneath the actual chassis on the front part. There's a storage locker again for a gas cylinder as well, so that works well. And then you've got the external points are all located on the rear side here. Now there also is a motor mover that comes with a full Monty as well, so again, you haven't got to necessarily push it, but you've also got the option of handles you can add on there if you want to sort of pull as you wish. Now, you've got a leisure battery located there, and also the mains hookup, so everything is kind of located in that sort of style, but you can see kind of on how it sort of sits well. When it's packed down, looking something like this again, so this is when it's unfolded before you inflate it. Really all you've got is just kind of 2 stays which go in there just to kind of keep it all backs and braces. I thought I'd also show you when we've got the awning here. Again, mesh into the sides. You've got the curtain hanging rail there. There also is a divider which you can put in between the sections. So if you wanted that sort of privacy between the area, again, that's a really quite nice little option. And we can see here we've got the larger bed as well. So if we can see one comparison, we lose the table. We've kind of still get the seating at the front here. So this is more kind of like your Voyager, and which comes in this kind of setup standardly. And you've got that the XL bed. So again, it still gives you that sort of ability to sleep. The table will sit in place when you've got the 2 people, so that's why I was sort of saying orientating maybe the Voyager's more process after 2, but you can pretty much do what you wanted to. And again, with this is the sun canopy option. So the Voyager package comes included with the sun canopy, but you can buy it as an optional extra as well. So if you wanted the full Monty and having the best of both worlds of having that full awning on the front of it, or alternatively having the sun canopy itself, it's going to look something like that. Again, there's a range of windbreaks as well, which actually directly zip to the actual model. And we've done a separate video on this, but that's the ORX. It's got like an external kitchen. But again, have a look at that sort of separate video we've done on that, just to give you a bit more of an idea. It's also worth mentioning that you do have different body colours. So you've got sort of a green. We saw there's like a blue on the first side over there, and then the kind of typical kind of Opus green. I mean, for me, probably the grey is going to be the most popular colour out of the range. When you've got the actual so the actual inflatable structure. Okay. So the thing again with the inflatable structure, what you find is it's very easy to get up and down. Like I said, have a look at that separate review that we've done on that. What you do find is you've got essentially it's one inflation point, but there's several deflation points. So again, it's very easy to get the air out. So it does actually take a lot of doing. Ideally, you want a second pair of hands to do it, just mainly for when you're folding it and tucking things in. Just makes life that a little bit easier on that front. But of course, if you have any queries on the Opus or any of the collection, we've got one of our indoor showrooms. You want to see it in the flesh and kind of talk through it with someone. That's when, certainly, they're not necessarily the cheapest things. They start really about 23,000 upwards. So from there, what you can do is we can, like I said, build it and spec it. And often what you find is with the packages that kind of Opus and us offer, naturally it's all about trying to save money and give you the best kind of value for money out of anything really. So, but the list of extras is on the spit. The gazebo, the fridge, you know, you can get your mains cables, lighting. You can really create that home away from home. But again, from a sort of towing point of view, again, that's the Opus orange as well. From a towing point of view, it's quite easy. The height of it is not too bad. Width actually is not too. It's going to be no sort of bigger than a caravan, probably smaller caravan really. Especially, I always think of when I've got my mirrors out, it's be no wider than that. But visually, and also from a physical towing point of view, what you find is you can see over the vehicle much easier. There's less weight, so your fuel economy is to be better in comparison to a caravan as well. And also, you don't have the same kind of you don't get the same sort of damp issues that you would with a caravan, because obviously it's canvas, it's all packed down, same sort of regulation check. You need the gas checking as you would normally, but in the whole sort of principle of it, generally, you know, it's a lot more lower maintenance, and certainly from a storage point of view, it's easy to store this in drive or put it in a garage. Whereas with a caravan, you are kind of a bit scupping on that as well, and you get all the functionality, but it's quite nice being under a bit of, under a bit of sort of canvas tent fabric really, rather than that. So, but yeah, like I said, hope it's been helpful. If you want more information, by all means check the link below, or you're welcome to comment in the box below and see what you think. I will say Opus are very good about their kind of socials and what they do offer in terms of videos as well. So they do an awful lot of in-depth ones as well as we do normally a full handover before you actually take the unit, so you can get fully up to guards with what you're doing. That's one thing I will say as a company, they're really nice to deal with and very hands-on with making you understand. There's even a rally once a year that Opus invite all their customers to, and it's great because you can get in contact with different Opus people, see how they set up, have a little, just a nice sort of time away. And they've got very good on their Facebook group as well, actually. That's one thing I will say. So if you have any questions, they always know, they have this, done this, and yeah, it's a real kind of community, which actually is quite nice. And yeah, again, it's a bit of a niche community, but it's still something quite nice in that sense. And it's certainly a lot cheaper than, say, like a your VW van or caravan with a lot less hassle. So, so by all means, let us know if you've got any more questions, queries, or concerns. But hopefully, it's been helpful, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next Attwoolls Outdoors video review.